Hi, my name is Patti Derouen, and I have the best job in the whole world. I'm the visual arts teacher at Generate High School in Iberia Parish. Um, my passion is to spark my students' creativity and help them become decision makers and problem solvers. We use a lot of non traditional items in my class. Where you see cardboard, we see canvases and sculptures. And so I teach them to recycle and repurpose things, and so we make art on a budget. They learn from different levels. I have different levels in my classroom, and so they're exposed to many different projects. Even if they're not working on it, they get to see the other students working on it. And so I teach middle school and high school visual arts, and I've also started an art club since I've been there on campus. You're seeing an Art 1 class today. It's a low relief sculpture. I use Louisiana Believe standards that's on the website to start my projects. And so the objective is that students will create a personalized license plate with foil tooling technique. My expectations are that all students go through the process and each of each lesson and obtain a mastery of each skill. So I choose the standards and then I choose new material. My students like working with new material. And I research and try to find some type of higher level thinking activities for that certain project, and also the questioning that I would use. And in each lesson, I try to include new material, maybe a writing assignment, an art critique, and also other disciplines. So in this project that we're about to do, we included a little bit of science where we talk about where aluminum comes from. So my lessons are challenging and my students are eager to learn, but sometimes they approach it by saying, I can't do it. So I chunk my lessons into something that's accomplishable and that students can learn at any level. So once they start to trust me and they see that it's something that they can do, it empowers them experiencing that success on the project. So I have pre-cut squares of aluminum and tape the edges to prevent injury. And I also show students that they can create this project using disposable pie plates at home, and they can use what they have and not buy supplies. I even use the tip of a paintbrush to smooth it out for my presentation. Difference between 2D, what is the D for? Dimension. 2D and 3D. It kind of tells you, right? This one only has 2, this one has 3. What are the 2 dimensions in a two-dimensional piece of art?
Like a square.
What?
Like a square.
Like a square, like a shape, right? So what does it have? Does it have a height?
2 diameter.
Does it have a width? Yes, and it's flat, okay? So 3D, what's the difference?
It's like a box.
It's like a cube. So what does a cube have that a square doesn't have? It has
Sides.
It has sides. What did you say?
Sides.
Sides. Just like us, or just like my Cleopatra here. There's a difference between this and this, right? It's what?
One is a flat figure and one have all sorts of shapes.
All kinds of shapes, or all kinds of form. How about form?
Yes,
That it has what? What is the other dimension? If it has height and it has with, what is this? What is this dimension? We studied it whenever we did our perspective drawings, where you make the road look like there's some space between.
It's the distance.
Distance, it's not distance, that's a good answer, but that's not the word I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for is depth, how deep it is. So we have form, we're three-dimensional, whereas the paper you write on, the canvases you paint on are two-dimensional. And so what we're studying today is a type of sculpture. And I'll go back and show you that. So you see all those patterns right there? This metal is a little bit harder than the one we're working on. So you're gonna create a personalized license plate using foil tooling. Sometimes they also call it foil embossing, where you create the patterns in the foil by manipulating it with certain tools. Now, I actually purchased a roll of this aluminum and cut down the size that we needed for our project. But you can use, you know, anything that you have at home, like a pie tin or the roasters, you know, and things like that. These are a little bit thinner. The texture of it is a little bit thinner, but it's still something that you're gonna be able to manipulate, okay? So everybody should have one in front of them. You should have a little white paper like this in front of you. Can everybody get that? If you don't have a pencil, there's one in your tray here. And so what, you're gonna create a personalized license plate using your creative thinking ideas. You have to have one letter or at least one number. So I thought that for ideas that maybe you can either use your initials or you can use like
Your birthday.
yeah, you can use your birthday, or you can use your sports number if you play basketball or baseball or whatever. Or if they have like little abbreviations like BFF or something like that, you know, if you want to give it to somebody else. So I drew out, I love school, I left some letters out, SKO, you know, something easy like that. And I actually put it down on the metal and I traced it with the pencil. So it leaves like a little indentation. I would suggest that you draw in block letters. Everybody remember how to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Yes? Cause, if not, I can demonstrate real quick. I'll come by you, I'll rotate around the room. So I don't wanna, take up a lot of time. So if you wanna go ahead and start, deciding what you wanna put on there, I'm gonna give you a few minutes to get that together and then and actually, start tracing it on there. You may have to put a little bit of pressure. This is what happened when I traced it. Here, and you're just gonna trace it right onto there. When you trace it, it's gonna leave like a little impression. Okay, try it. Use the different tools. When I cut this pie plate, I actually used something like this that has a flat edge to get all these little ridge parts out. You see right here, that the pie plate comes with. So you can do something like that with a flat edge. Paintbrushes are really good because they have like this rounded edge here. That you can draw and manipulate and press into the tin. With I'm gonna go to the back side and I'm gonna rub in that block letter. Like it pushes it out in the front. Can you stop for a second and look? So I'm gonna rub it in to where it's pushing it out to the front. Cause I wanna be able to feel it. That's on your rubric. It has to be raised. That's the relief. Side, once you have it, you know, projecting to the front here, and you kind of define it, make it. Same here, look, your letters are really small, so wherever you gotta get in the small part, use that.
Oh, like right here.
Huh? Yeah, from the back side, and then you're gonna flip it over, and then you're gonna like redefine your outline. It's tight with your partner across, and I'm gonna give you a little, I'm gonna give you a little tab, and what I want you to do is give your partner some feedback. So you're going to give them a star, which is something that's positive about it, or you're gonna give them a wish, something that you see that they can do better, and a sculpture in the round. Okay. So these are the same. That's not what we talked about in the beginning, right? These are two types of sculptures. What's the difference? And you can say anything about the relief that you want. So students were successful on the project. They were able to emboss on the aluminum sheets. What I could have did differently was use my document camera instead of walking around doing mini demos at each table. COVID has affected us, and so instead of gathering them around, I kind of walk around and get a feel for their interest in the project. So I could have used my document camera to eliminate some of the wasted time. After this segment, students were able to color in their pieces with Sharpie markers, and it makes it real shiny and bright, and they love the project. This year I've incorporated meditative art. It helps the students de-stress during this chaotic time. I like to expose them to trips that I've taken to the museum and encourage them to do the same. And show them art that it's something that they can relate to. A lot of my students hadn't seen the portraits of President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama and didn't know the reason behind them. And so I exposed them to those pieces and asked them to share it with their parents. I also have success with students that have disciplinary problems. I help them refocus. Like, students know what I expect of them early on, and I think getting to know them and giving them that extra special time, it helps them, and they know that I'm going to tough it out with them.